Daftmill Winter Batch Release 2006. Should you scour the auction sites? Wait for the whiskey whistle. Greetings and welcome, my good friends. Mark here at Whiskey Whistle on YouTube, bringing you some whiskey awesomeness from Winnipeg, the center of North America. And today we're looking at Daftmill Winter Release 2006. Winter Release 2006 from Daftmill. Now I have to thank Aqvavitae, Roy. Roy, thank you so much for sending this to me. And it arrived beautifully, even though I'm in Canada. It arrived, it's safe and sound, no spillage. Look at that, nice fill level. Time to get that open. I'm really excited about this. I have been hungry for Daftmill since Ralfy over at Ralfy.com talked about Daftmill in his series on the distillery way back when. It must have been about 2012 or 13 that he went there. All right, so let's get that opened. There we go. Get her poured. I think we'll go about half in. Oh, a little bit more than half. That's okay. And this is 12 years old. This is matured entirely in ex-bourbon casks. And as I mentioned, this is the 2006. And I'm going to use... Which one should I use? Well, I mean, I should use the Aqvavitae coin. But I want to mention that a bunch of the Whiskey Tube friends of mine are putting these challenge coins out, and you can get them, and they're so great because they protect your whiskey and they help you to let that sit for a while to accumulate extra nosing notes for you to detect more easily. All right, so got one here from No Nonsense Whiskey. Thanks a lot, Vin. I mentioned that already in the last video. And we've got two now from Aqvavitae. I've got 146, and I've also got the Evangelist. I guess I've become an evangelist now. So I'll let that sit there. 12 years old. We should let that sit for about 12 minutes. I probably won't let it sit that long, but surely it's actually already had a bit of oxygen, a little bit of aeration, a little bit of oxidation already in transport and from when Roy opened it. So I think we're good. All right, well, that's it. Sit there for a little while. Whoop. Okay. There we go. All right, now really excited about that. Now, on the topic of minis and how should we approach these? If they're from your close friends, absolutely go ahead and share your miniatures. Make little samples and share them. But you run into a bit of a risk. So share samples with close friends. Be wary to accept samples from people who are not your friends. Makes sense, right? All right. Okay, so Roy, however, is a very good friend of mine, fellow YouTuber, and we're both Commonwealth types, so definitely a welcome and a very, anticipated sample that I've been waiting for. All right, so let's just check out the nose very briefly here. So rich, peppery. Reminds me a little bit of Talisker in a way. Okay, first of all, before we get on with anything, let's check out the color. Now, this is absolutely pure natural color. This is 46% ABV, and I believe also this is almost like farm to glass, if I'm not mistaken. At the very least, they source their barley from nearby farms for this one. I think it is actually their own barley. I could be mistaken. All right. Anyway, nice light color. You know, a light wheat hue, slightly lemony. Very beautiful color. So attractive. All right, and let's give it the full review. So we'll check out the legs. That's something that I always like to do. Okay, coat the glass on the sides, and let's have a look-see. The legs are very slow to start. Can you see that there? And they trickle down very slowly too, telling me that there is a lot of something in that spirit that's making it so slow. In this case, I think it is a combination of small stills, a combination of fresh casks. Also, it's 46% ABV, and I've learned that 48% is the most viscous for alcohol. Oh, wow, look at that. Really, really slow. Very cool. Really, really excited about this. Again, thanks a lot, Roy. Okay, onto the nose, as I'm already diving in here. Coconut and stone fruits. Some red plum. Red plum stones. White peach. There's also something very zesty here. And again, I thought that there was something similar to Talisker in a way. So it's very effervescent. I can tell this is going to be a little bit sherbety, a little bit effervescent on the palate. A little hint of something like cream soda. Light vanilla. Candied ginger. Toasted coconut. And a kind of candy. Something kind of like sweet tarts. The smell of an open bag of sweet tarts. Or I think I mentioned that before. What's it called? Liquimade? Is that what it's called? Fun dip. And then you got the stick. The stick. This smells like the stick for Fun Dip. And it's really beginning to get more and more heavy as time passes here as I'm smelling it. The way this smells, I would not put this at 12 years old. I would guess it would be more like 14 to 16. All right. Well, cheers everybody. Pardon me. Cheers, everybody. And slanja to Roy over in Scotland. For a Lowland, this is very... It's not subtle. It is not gentle like some other Lowland malts. This is actually very rich, very fruity. And They've done an excellent job of selecting casks. This reminds me of Astar, which is first fill and much higher strength, but they're actually very similar in their the strength of flavor. So this is really done well with, you know, who knows where they source their casks, but obviously very, very fresh, well-made casks with good wood, possibly air-dried. One more taste neat here. Cheers again. It's got a little bit more bite than your average Glenmorangie. And something somewhat similar to Glengrant 12. And I think Roy knows that I like bourbon matured whiskey. I think that's why he sent this to me. He knew I would appreciate it. And I appreciate it so much. So much. Now the finish, again, I'm tasting this all at once here. I don't get a chance to try it a few times and wait for the finish. It's very organic for me how I'm trying this now and not having time to sit and think. And I love how it develops. There's a bit of astringency in there. There's a bit of bitterness too. But I want you to keep in mind that bitterness is an essential flavor, and it is one of the 5 and possibly 6 flavors that your palate detects, at least from an Asian perspective. I think, well, it's 5 really, but bitterness, of course, sweetness, yes. This is not really very strong on the umami or the savory aspect of things. And same with spiciness. It's really not, a little bit of pepperiness to it. So it's got a tiny bit of spice to it. And it's got a hint of sourness, which balances that sweetness very nicely. So sweet, a little bit bitter, tiny bit sour, and even less pepperiness, and almost no umami or savory aspects to it. So it's an interesting balance of flavors there. I think I should draw myself some kind of a, well, it wouldn't be a quadrant, it would be a, what would that be called then for 5? Quintrant. I'll have to make a quintrant. Delicious. The finish is very sweet, and the flavor carries for a very, very long time. This has an insanely long finish. Now, Roy, I didn't watch all of your video about you tasting this one, so I wonder what your thoughts were. I'll have to go back and check. Let's add some water. I'll add 1 and a tiny little bit to that, because I know it can take it. This is the type of whiskey that actually could probably do very well at 40%. Not that they should, but there's a handful of whiskeys that I find are just great at 40%. And they would be almost overpowering at cask strength. 46 would definitely be max for them. One of those is Royal Lochnagar, and another one is Glenord. Yep, this does take water quite well. It swims. Really brings out the vanilla and the coconut cream type of a flavor. And I dare say even a little bit of white chocolate. Okay, final taste here. Cheers. Does beautifully with water. Kicks up that astringency slightly. So it kind of becomes actually a little bit more in your face with water. This is like the pinnacle of younger ex-bourbon matured single malt Scotch whiskey. It does not get much better than this. This is in company with Astar for me, which was I think it was my 2017 NAS Luxury Whiskey of the Year. All right, let's get on the Whiskey Whistle Whiskey score for Daftmill 2006 winter release. I almost forgot. All right, so the Whiskey Whistle Whiskey score for Daftmill winter release 2006, that, folks, is going to be 93 out of 100. Yep, you heard right. 93 out of 100 is the Whiskey Whistle Whiskey score for Daftmill 2006 winter release. Delicious stuff. I really love it. And you should definitely go and have a look for this, possibly at auction. And I think that I personally would pay up to, say, $200 for this whiskey. So about $110, $120, 110, 120 pounds UK would be an okay price to pay for something that is in such small supply with such great demand. Absolutely. I would be very happy to have a bottle of Daftmill for around about that price. And if you found that and you're wondering, should I do it? Just go for it, because I really think it's worth it. You better watch out for the next release, because I'm sure that's going to go just as quickly. And again, thank you very much, Roy. And you've shared this with me, so it's definitely whiskey. It's not whiskey until it's shared, he says. This is 100% real and delicious. Beautiful stuff. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned for more. Lots more to come here. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel by clicking the link right over here. Hit the bell above so that you're notified. And if you like this review, please like it, share it, comment. What do you think of Daftmill? Have you tried it? Do you want to try it? Do you love it? Do you meh it? Let me know. Write a comment, okay? Take care, everybody. And by the way, if you're in Winnipeg, check out the Winnipeg Whiskey Club, okay? And we'll see you for the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks a lot. Goodbye, Roy. Thanks for watching Whiskey Whistle. Be sure to subscribe, and don't forget to give this video a like and leave a comment down below. Be sure to stay tuned next time to join me, the host of the show, Mark, as I explore more whiskeys with you. Take care now, and we'll see you next time.